Me personally, I'm one of the most loving, peaceful guys, people will ever meet. Those people who really know me, they know that. They know I have no violent criminal history. And they know that over the years, from doing God's work and doing the right thing, I've built up resentment because of mental health, which is disproportionately having liberal thought. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that the Democratic Party should just dissolve and we should let the Republicans take over. But certainly, the minimum the Democratic Party could do is stop their gay agenda, stop their cultural attack, stop their gang stalking, stop their lies, stop all the stuff that they pretend that they're not doing. So for those of you who have been paying attention and you need to download this video, record it with a camera, save the video in a way that they can't detect that you downloaded, or that you recorded it, that you have it. And keep in mind that, when people run these psyops on you, the logical thing, is to see it as warfare, especially because the military is involved, and even if they weren't, it's a lot of military tactics, and see, what it's really about maintaining the social order of America, the internal organization. As I've said many times in my videos, from the Army's own handbook, So you need to understand that, and you need to understand that, for example, in my case, you'd be hard pressed to prove that if it ends up being violent, that it wasn't a direct result of their gang stalking. I say, at the end of the day, it's a direct result of their philosophy. And I would certainly say that, yes, it is a direct result of their technique, their application of their philosophy as they social engineer. In other words, if someone like me was to do something violent, right or wrong, it would be a direct result of what they're doing to him. And you see this kind of theme in society in general, where we blame the victim, drug the person who's complaining, try to get the social engineers and the elite off the hook. So you need to truly understand that, yes, when you see this, they did it, and part of the effect, the desired effect was to cheat me out of my rightful place and to keep me from spreading my philosophy. And there were people who got on board, if they weren't already, with that in mind. And one last thing, I think I might have even said it before. I do believe there is a setup in Santa Cruz for me beyond the gang stalking, that some people have, harsh feelings related to, their philosophy, my past, and basically law enforcement has set me up here before. And it's a long story. I'll get into another day. I think I have it on other videos, buried under my thousands of videos somewhere. But yes, this is more of a key video. I do believe that they are trying to set me up here. To what degree, I don't know. But I certainly feel that, part of the plan was to get me here and to, get me back into the Santa Cruz County court system. Earlier this year, I went to the psych ward on Hitler's birthday, right? And they had subtly, drawn me out to Santa Cruz in a way that you would expect of these societies and intelligence groups and stuff. And they had drugged me, heavily. So it was like, why am I out here? They somehow guided me out there and set up the circumstances of my life for me to end up out there on that day. The one day I happened to be drugged more than any other day, just covertly drugged with something intense, like maybe LSD or some narcotic, okay? And, as I'm going around, I could totally tell I'm drugged. Look at my eyes, they're way different, bugged. And, it's very obvious. I could feel the drugs going through my system. And I'm in Santa Cruz, that day. And I go as far as to say that I was meant to be set up that day in Santa Cruz to go to the psych ward. But because I moved quickly and did it, the way I did it, and I barely played it off, you feel me, that I made it out. You also have to keep in mind that the trouble with the law enforcement was over a family member of a police dispatcher, and the prosecutor had it in for me tough. They were whining. When I held the door open for him, he was very rude. He really made it clear to me that he had it in for me and that he wanted me to be punished more. He's basically, the impression I got is some kind of sadistic white supremacist that likes to, you know, put on a show to society like most serial killers and scum do. And that was the impression I got of the guy. So when you look at all the evidence together, there's an abundance of evidence. And don't forget, I have 15 witnesses, and at least one of them to the covert drugging, and 2 other people to the fuming. So it becomes ridiculous that this is some kind of fucking delusion I have that is completely ruled out as a scientist and not just as a logical mind with 175 IQ. Thank you.